me Simran and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Notion tour of my Notion workspace and just everything that goes on in that. Notion's like an all-in-one planning workspace type thing that you can use to organize any aspect of your life, and I've chosen to organize my entire life on it. So this video might be a long one. I'll be sure to have timestamps down below. I also will have a template available of my dashboard for you to copy and use for yourself. I use a lot of templates while making my dashboard. I think it can be really overwhelming to start from scratch while using Notion, so being able to use templates and customize them to your needs is like a really great way to get started. I definitely recommend checking Notion out if you're in need for a new productivity organization tool for 2021. Like I said, a lot of pages that I use every day started from a template someone else made, and I'd love to give them credit. I will have the credit of the person who the template belongs to down below, as well as on the Notion template I'm sharing with you. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting off, we have my dashboard page, the landing page to everything. So for the background, for the cover, I actually used a GIF I found on Pinterest, and then if you control write it, I'm pretty sure, it gives you like options to save or copy it. So I did copy image address, and I clicked over here, clicked on link, and I just linked that over there. So I never had to download it or anything, but I've done that for a lot of the covers. So that's where a lot of my covers are from. For this icon, I just searched up flower icon, but for a lot of other icons, they're just GIF stickers or Jiffy stickers. So if you go to jiffy.com/stickers, and I just used those as icons. So that's how I did that. When you scroll down, I have a bunch of these little pictures with pages underneath it. I used to have this in a gallery, but I found that the gallery was too restricting, so I moved it out to look like this instead. I'm gonna go through these after, but the images are all, I think, Stephen Rhodes artwork. I think they're really funny. As many as I could, I tried to relate to what the page is about. My personal favorite is Sell Your Soul, Economics for Children is my job application page. I'm scrolling down. I'll first go through this page since this is like my landing page and this is where I spend the most of my time. So I have this widget connected to my Google Calendar where I'll plan my classes and have all my class stuff. On the side, I have this morning thing. So I'm the type of person who, if you don't give me a reason to wake up, I could sleep in forever. I am not a morning person, and so if I'm planning on waking up early the next day, I will plan it here and be like, as soon as I wake up, I'm gonna do this. So that's why that's there, and I'll normally use my Google Calendar to plan out my mornings. Underneath in this reminders thing, I have a link to a bunch of different boards from other Notion pages. And if you open these, it just kind of shows like the things I have to do from other to-do lists, if that makes sense. So while I'm making this part, I can look at that. Underneath it is like my weekly planning. So I still use a paper planner. This is kind of like where my library of information is. And then my like paper planner is just like 2 to 3 things a day that I have to do. What I have here is every week I'll update what I want to do that week based into these categories, and then every day I'll be able to look at it and decide which tasks I want to focus on that day. And so these categories are school, orgs, which is like club work and things like that. Internship, basically me hunting for an internship and hoping to get employed next year, fingers crossed. Admin, which is just like paperwork normally, YouTube stuff, and then miscellaneous, which currently has a Patagonia return on there. So that's kind of the breakdown of what I want to do that week. And so what I'll do is I have this little add a new task thing. You could just do /to do, but this just looks really clean. So let's just say for school, I was like, I have an assignment, 1 due, and I could just like put them all in really conveniently. And then as I go through, I could cross them off. And then normally at the end of the week, I'll just move whatever I completed that week into this thing up here, which is just like a page that I'm using as like a trash bin. It's just really satisfactory to move it there. Plus, if I ever have to refer back to it, it's right there to refer back to. That's what I like to do. And that way I'm also able, like going into the week on Sunday, I kind of know what the week's gonna hold for me. If you're someone who's using Notion as your only planning system, then I could see you maybe doing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and doing that here instead, but this is just what works for me. Now getting started with the first page we have is college work. I kind of have it organized into the pages I use the most to least. So first page we have is college work. In the middle, I have my study plans, which I've gone into in a different video. I explained this, but basically right before finals, I made this page and it was so helpful. I feel like I did such a good job breaking apart my final studying this quarter and just like slowly pacing myself. And I do think that this page had to do with it. I just put in all my different assignments and when I roughly wanted them completed by. So I had class options here. So my 2 classes were different colors and emojis. I had what type of assignment. So is it a lecture I want to watch? Is it a reading, homework, studying, exam, whatever it is, and then the due date as well as any important links. And then as I completed things, I could complete it. And that is the most satisfactory feeling, being able to cross it off. I have a lot of boards in my Notion templates that have this like click and it goes away just because it gives me serotonin. It makes me happy. That's why I have that. And this was really nice. It also has a calendar view to it that I made. So I could like look over in a month view, what are we doing? When are we doing it? I'm a pretty visual person, so I really enjoyed this. On the side, I have quick access to a portal for a community college I took a class because I always lose that link, so I just kept it there. As well as I have 2 embedded PDFs. I took them out for this video because I don't know the legality of it, but I had my textbooks from the quarter linked there, which was really nice because it's like, I'd open this, look at my study plans, textbook right there. It's a work time. On the other side, I have notes. So these are actual notes I took from my research lab that I won't open just because it's like for my class. But then underneath it, I made this class schedule page. A while ago, I made this template for a bunch of my friends. It was like a Figma file, which Figma is like a UI design tool. And it was kind of like to help my friends plan out their classes before enrollment and just get like an overview of the classes they needed to graduate on time and stuff. Literally so many people I've made them for. People I don't even know I've made like graduation plans for. I don't know why, but I literally could be a peer advisor. I thought it'd be cool to make a Notionified version of that because I feel like Notion has more capabilities than Figma that were relevant to class planning. So this class scheduler, basically how this works is I have a key which has what each emoji means. So the brain is a major rec. I'm a cognitive science major. Brain goes hand in hand. The minor is a computer because I'm a computer science minor once again, and then the pencil is just a general ed, and I have all the requirements I need to graduate on the side listed, and I can just kind of drag them in and plan out when I want to take each thing. I only have 3 quarters in here, but you could add like every quarter till graduation. I just put 3 because it's like in your visual view. And then I have other references, which is just like you need 180 credits to graduate. And then some other references, you could have like a major chart if there's any like chart of requirements you have to complete, or a link to advising or something like that would go here. In each class, I've written like what requirement it fulfills. So like a cognitive science elective is what this is. And then the status is when I'm planning on taking it, and class options are the classes that are offered to fill this elective. And then lastly, the number of units is really helpful because you need 180 credits to graduate. And so if I switch over to table view, you can calculate how many units you actually have, which is actually, units are one of those things that no one really thinks about, but it can catch up on you and be a reason that you end up staying an extra quarter when you don't want to for graduation. So that's why I added that. That's that page, and that's basically everything in my college work page. Moving on to the next page, which is my 2021 goals planning page. This page was a mix of a template that I used, which I will have linked down below, but it's just to help me plan out my goals and incentives for the year. So I have my vision board. I have this I love this. This is like one of my favorite emojis, the Monstera. I love Monsteras, they're my favorite plants. I have this little affirmation. I have a whole page of affirmations, which I'll show you later, but this is just one that stuck out to me for now. And then I have this quarterly breakdown. I've never been the type of person to break down my goals into quarterly goals, but I think it could be good for me. So we're giving it a go. So that's why this is someone else's template that I'm kind of testing, because I've never really broken down my goals like this. But when you click on these quarters, it does a further breakdown of quarter priorities and then monthly priorities as well. It also had a weekly breakdown, but I took that out because I just don't see myself genuinely using this weekly. I think monthly would be a good goal. I don't think I'm at the place to do weekly yet. And it's just kind of like a lot of reflecting and thinking of the future. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how that goes. I'll update you guys in future videos how that's going for me. Underneath that, I have my giant list of things I want to do this year, which is a list of goals as well as just like random bucket list tag items. So I have like read 5 books, but I also have like practice gratitude and affirmations, and I have them broken down into categories, which are like hobbies, personal, academic, as well as I have sub goals, which is really interesting. This is something new I'm doing this year, which I'm really excited about, is things that could be further broken down into smaller goals. I've put the amount of goals next to, but like for example, reading 5 books, once I read 3 books, I can put that on there and it says that I'm 60% towards the goal. I found this on Twitter, on Notion Twitter, and I was like, I need this template in my life. Being able to see that like slowly go up is so satisfactory, and a lot of times those little pushes are what you need to get to your goal. Like a lot of other pages in my Notion, you click that and it disappears. So that's really interesting, and I'm excited to use this to track my goals this year. Moving on, we have my habit tracker. So this is another page where I'm trying out. I used to use my bullet journal, but I tend to not keep up with my bullet journal. So I'm interested to see if I keep up with it more on Notion because of like the extra things I can add here as incentives to myself. So on the side, I have a list of like upcoming things and challenges I want to do. Most of these are workout or like exercise related. The only way I'll get myself to work out is if I try workout challenges. How this works is it has this habit tracker, which I'm pretty sure I got from Reddit. And so I have the goals I like to track and then a weekly breakdown. So I have it going Sunday to Sunday, and then I could just put it in. So I did work out today. I would just check that off. I didn't wake up at 8:27. I wouldn't do that. I didn't meditate. Did do something for me, and I drank water, which I also have this water tracker here, which is a widget, so I could link this page onto my phone. So when I'm on my phone, I could easily say, okay, yeah, I drank a glass of water right now. At the end of the day, I could be like, okay, cool, how much water did I drink? And then what I really like about this habit tracker thing is I'm able to like, when you check things off and you reach your goal, which you set over here, it says so cutely, goal reached or keep it up. And you can like change your goal, which I really, it's like very flexible but fun and encouraging. Next we have my YouTube page. I think I took this from twirling pages. Not positive, but I did change this one a lot because like, yeah, I plan my videos, but I don't really plan content outside of YouTube. When I post an Instagram picture, it's because I took a picture I somewhat liked. That's about it. There's not really any further planning. I also don't do sponsorships. So I have helpful links, which are just links that I tend to use in my videos. Then I have video requests. If you ever DM me or you ever comment a video you'd like me to do, I just add it here. No thoughts, just add it. And so that's what these are. Then I just have my YouTube schedule. So the default view just has the video title, what status it's in, these are the different status options, the publish date when I want the video up by, and then also the category of video so I can kind of figure out my niche if I have one on YouTube. I also have different views for this. I can see archived and completed to see the videos I've done or don't want to do anymore. And then my favorites calendar because I'm a visual person. I like seeing calendars. They make me happy. Let's say I'm making a page right now and I were to go to video template. This is kind of where I would plan the video. So let's say I want to outline it. I want to talk about this. And then when I go to edit, I move this all into the planning and script area. And I kind of open this while looking through this to-do list of parts of editing. And so that way I'm able to slowly get towards editing because one of my goals has been to not spend all of one day editing a video, but to break up editing over a couple days. And then once it's done, I just move it to completed or archived and it's done. Next to the job applications page, I think this page is the most template-y out of all of them. Like this was not changed a lot by me. I'm looking into hopefully pursuing a career in product design after I graduate, which means I'm looking for a product design internship. And so this has been super helpful as a beginner. A lot of resources to help you kind of like push yourself and get that internship. So I can, let's say I'm like applying to YouTube and I was applying, I have a bunch of positions that I tend to apply for saved. So let's say I applied for an intern position and then there's a bunch of different stages. You can also break it down by stage so you can see what stage in the application you are, as well as like if you've got any interviews, are they in progress, second round rejected, and then contacting people and talking to people about referrals or advice and things like that. Next I have my bookshelf page, which I'm really excited about. I haven't fully filled it out yet. So in this page, I just have like this little bookshelf and then I have like this side thing which I'll show you after. So in the bookshelf I have the book that I'm reading. I need to add all my books in here. I have how many pages of it I've read, have I completed. This one's completed, but for the purpose of this I've left it uncompleted. The progress towards finishing it, what category of book it is, and my personal rating, as well as any notes if I want to add them. Atomic Habits is a book that I read in early quarantine and I just like latched onto it. So I actually took a lot of notes on the book itself. So I added those into the page. I'm losing my voice, so I apologize if I sound really weird throughout filming this, but that's kind of on the default view. And then when I complete the book, I can check it and it goes away like everything else. Can you tell I'm obsessed with that? Which, by the way, if you're wondering how I do that, it's just a filter. So I have where this is this, then it stays. Otherwise, if I were to do this, then those would stay, or you could just take out the filter if you don't like that. So that's what I have here. I also have a hidden element on this, which is the amount of pages in the book. But if I switch over to the other view, which is gallery, this is what makes it feel like it's like a cute little bookshelf. So I have pictures for each one. And if you want to make it so that the picture shows the full picture and not half, all you have to do is you go over to properties, and in properties you do it so it's like card size, fit image, and then you import the picture of the book as the header for that page, if that makes sense. So for Atomic Habits, I just imported this as the cover. And then I also have in this one, which I don't have visible in the other view, is the amount of pages in the entire book. Just because I feel like it's not necessary to see it when you first see it. You just want to see your progress towards completing it. But on this view, you can add more details and add books on your wish list and all of that in the That's What She Said category, because I am clearly 20 and not 12. I just have a bunch of quotes I really like. There's just 3 so far. A quote from Dewey, a quote from A Thousand Splendid Suns, and then a quote from my friend, because for some reason I grouped her in the same group as famous people. I just like that she said this and I added it here. And then I just have this page that I found on Twitter that I really liked and wanted to save of books and recommendations that I could check out in the future. Next we have my In the YouTube page. This page I think I would love so much if I was living on my own, but I think once I move out again, this page will be used so much, especially since I love food and I love cooking and all that. Basically how this page works is it's very complicated and it's definitely not made by me because it's too complicated for even me to understand. But what I do is I add any recipes I really like to the bottom, so you can have the name of the recipe, the ingredients, category, which I'll show, your rating, so like what you really love, what you don't really love, and when, and then link to a full recipe if there's a full recipe to it. So yeah, I've just been adding recipes. You can even add pictures and have it look like a gallery, but I always forget to take good food pictures. But let's say I was to plan out this week and the meals I wanted to eat. It'll make a grocery list based on what you said you've purchased and where you purchased it from. So all of these things on the side are set things that I've written down that I don't have in my fridge. So when you go grocery shopping, you pick out the recipes and it tells you exactly what you need, what you have, what you don't have, as well as where you'd purchase it for. So like for example, the cashew dressing I really like is only at Trader Joe's. So I wrote down it's only at Trader Joe's, but bell peppers I could buy from any grocery store, so I didn't specify it. So far, this is a game changer, honestly. Like, I'm so excited to meal prep again. As you guys know, I'm already a college student, so this is not a page that I'm actively using, but for a while I was debating on going to grad school and looking into grad school, so that's when I kind of started to make this page. I turned it into a page that my sister was hoping to use because she's starting to research and learn about colleges. So this page has smaller pages within it as well as linked lists that go back to pages, which I'll explain in a second. Basically on the top we have this UCSA page, which is just, I've added this little call-out quote of the prompt as well as a space for you to write. This could also be used for supplementary essays if you're not looking into the UCs. Then login info. I know when I applied to college, there was so many different logins for so many different schools. To this day, I do not know if I got into San Diego State because I lost my password and I called them trying to reset everything, but it was just being really confusing. And at that point, I'd already like pretty much decided I was going to Santa Cruz and I didn't think San Diego was going to change my decision. So we'll never know. But if you don't want to be like me and you actually want to know whether you got into all the schools you're applying to, this will be really nice. Keep track of the portal links as well as your username. I don't know what passwords because I know that Notion's not completely secure, but if you feel comfortable, you could add those as well. Key dates is basically just a giant calendar. As you can tell, I like my calendars. I like seeing the dates, and so you could just add when our UC apps due, when's FAFSA due, because there's a lot of supplementary things like transcripts and all that stuff, so you could just put them all in here as you research schools, and then that way when you're done applying or in the middle of the application process, you'll just have a little reminder. So on the main page for this, I just have it listed so you can see the key dates listed. And then I have the college research page, which I have a full page version of, as well as like a board embedded into another page. I don't know what this is called, but I did this a lot where I embed a board into another place so that way you can see it more than one place. I'm a very visual person as well as a very forgetful person, so if something's not like in front of me, I might forget it on accident. So that's why I've done that a lot of times. Sorry, the sun is starting to set. But so going into the flow page, there's the gallery view where you can have like each school's logos and like the names and everything. But there's also a table view. And in the table view, I just have the admission percentage. So what are your odds of getting into the school? The average GPA of an attendant, your GPA you can put there if you want to. I haven't put anything there because I'm not applying to colleges, so my GPA is not relevant right now. Average SAT and ACT score of that school. Your SAT you could put there for comparison, or you could take that out if you don't like comparing that much. Up to you. Other recs, which are just other requirements that the school might require, your proposed major you're considering, and then your category. So switch over to the category view, you're able to kind of group schools. So after doing research, you can kind of gauge, is this school a reach school, a just right school, or a safety school? And then I have my decision tracker, which is kind of similar to the job application tracker, but just for schools really. And then if you were to go to the full page, you can also filter the applications by all applications or filtered. And the reason I have that is I personally, while I was looking at schools, wouldn't want to see the schools I got rejected to every time I opened it. So I have it set so if I got rejected there, she gets seated to all applications. She's not on the filter applications, so you don't have to look at your rejections. So yeah, that is the college application page. Next page is my dream life page, which is like affirmations, gratitude, and all that. One of my goals this year, I keep saying that, but one of my goals really for the next year is to practice more gratitude. I think I did a lot better job in 2020 than I expected to just because of all the obstacles that were thrown our way this year. But I hope to continue that energy into 2021, especially since I don't know what this year is going to bring us. And so I have some manifesting stuff from winter solstice as well as guiding to scripting and some like scripting stuff. I also have my vision board and some other affirmations. I've been really liking affirmations recently, which is weird because I just think they were so cheesy. But I think positive mindset and having a positive self-talk can really change how you view things, which could change your life. So I'm really working on, doing that. So that's what this page is. And then lastly, my previous/misc page is honestly just as it sounds. It's a bunch of pages I don't use every day, so I don't need to have on the main page. So a lot of these are like case study UX projects or UI projects that I've done for my portfolio, all that stuff. And then these are other pages that I've enjoyed and I like to access but not that often. So yeah, that is my complete Notion setup. Be sure to comment down below any Notion tips you have or also any goals you have for 2021 because I'd love to add some goals to my list and we can help each other achieve our goals together. This video definitely took me a fat minute to make, so be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. To even have you stay this far into the video really means a lot to me, so I truly appreciate it. With all that being said, I really want to say see you next year because my next video is going to be in 2021. But I don't know if we're going to do that this year because I know 2021 is going to... Bye!